am Brick Princess Buttercup, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different for me. Today I am going to talk you through a submission on Lego ideas that I love and tell you why I like it. So it is a build that's in honor of the 40th anniversary of Indiana Jones. So this is a 3-part build of either individual displays or one that's in the cohesive 3 together of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And it is stunning. It's absolutely delicious, as I think you'll agree. Now, the builder is a long-term fan of Indiana Jones. Actually, let's just have a look and see how many Indy minifigs. So it's probably more by now. Yeah, they do breed, put them together like rabbits. But he's a long-term fan, and it shows. You can see that this is a build of love, and people are responding to it in exactly the same way. There's quite a lot of Indiana Jones ideas on Lego ideas, but they don't all have 165 comments, and they certainly don't have as fast a momentum with getting the votes up. Now, our builder, Tvrulesmylife, he's just recently become a member of the 10K Club, so his build of The Nightmare Before Christmas just got 10,000 votes last week, and so he's going to go through into the review process, and I am calling it. This one is too. It absolutely is. And why do I think that? That's because it's February now. Well, hop back to January the 12th. He hit his first marker of 100 votes. By January the 20th, 8 days later, he hit the next milestone of 1,000. He's now at over 3,700. And like I said, he's got like 160 comments or something on there. So people love the build because this build beautifully encapsulates Raiders of the Lost Ark. And aside from what it does of encapsulating the movie, in and of itself, it is such a lyrical build. Look at the rhythm that we've got here. There's the 3 parts. They are each separate. They each work individually, and you can actually turn them around and get different shots of them. In fact, that's one of the things that the builder really likes about his build. And here you can see these beautiful shots. And I'll just take a moment here to hold and see his favourite part, which is this shot where we see Indy holding onto the tree root and the door is slowly coming down. So the idea is that the builds, the little vignettes, the little habitats, that they can be adjusted and moved so that you can get shots that give a really dynamic sense of the movement that is such a big part of this iconic scene. Okay, so let's go back and look at the first one with the idol. This starts with some beautiful bright greenery, the foliage, and the floor is half sand color, half rich chocolate brown. So the brown is round tiles, which gives that pressure plate feel, so it moves across. And as you can see, there's the spears. Yeah, there's beautiful details in here. Like, I like the frog and the spider, but I love that these bits follow through into next, like very delicate pieces are moved through, so there's continuity. So we see the finish of this is very smooth, yeah, and it's got a lot of angles. It's quite geometric, so we've got a lot of verticals and a lot of horizontals, and we've got the crisscross patterns. We've got the lines in the columns, and although we've got the column that's tumbled down, this is a very neat, really neat and ordered and clean build. Then we move across to the next one, where we actually have the habitat is bisected in 2 ways. So vertically it's cut, So we have the brown on the bottom. So this is the center color here. The brown has got a really heavy focus. And we've got, you know, we've got the little arch with the skeleton underneath, and we've got some of the saplings curling through. Now we still have some of the bright green foliage, but it is shifting to that more sand green color with where the saplings and seedlings are coming and their foliage on the wall. But aside from it being cut horizontally, it's also cut, if you see, cut vertically like this, it's also cut. We're going across. So it's divided with the wall between where we've got the door. So it gives a very different sense of space from the first one, which is, you know, that traditional corner that you see like in a lot of habitats. So it moves, which gives, I think, is a fantastic sense of movement and completion. So each of these builds gives a suggestion of a wider space, which is actually quite mind-blowing when you think about it. And as you can see, it gives you a lot of scope to get some really dynamic photographs, which our builder actually has done. As you can see, we go through here. This is his favorite of the elements, which is where Indy is holding on with the tree root and the door is slowly descending. Now we move across to the last one, which is absolutely iconic, and it's the boulder, which is chasing. Now this one is finished in an entirely different way from the first one. The first one is all clean and tiled and neat, and the middle one is all textured and moved, but it's still tiled, like we've got angles and slopes and move. Whereas this one, we see a lot of studs on the top, which is entirely appropriate for this. It feels so right. It gives it the solidity. It gives the stone a lot more authority. And what do you notice about the foliage? There is none of that bright green foliage anymore. We've now tapped into that sand green sapling and foliage that's coming through, but then we've got the darker, richer green of the jungle vines that are hanging down here. And I do love the little chameleon. That's a beautiful touch here. So you see all three of them, they work individually, but they flow together in the most extraordinarily beautiful way. What is fascinating to me, because I actually asked the builder a few questions about this. Now what's fascinating to me is this is entirely different from how this build began. This build began as a stack, a vertical stack. Bang, 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 bang. His original idea was to have three different scenes from the 3 original movies from the trilogy. So lovely idea, and I really hope that we can get this one across the mark to the 10,000, because then we can see what he's got in store for us for the others. And actually, I might have seen a little sneak preview of some of them. Not just me, yeah, not anything special, but I promise you, he has got the goods, okay? Like, yeah, very different from this. So these are gorgeous, but it's not going to be more of the same. They are very different feels, and oh, I really hope this gets across so it can give him that impetus to continue, because these are stunning. Like, how often do you get something that is a beautiful display piece but is also really useful for actually integrating into your own animations or photo shoots? You don't. And how often do you get them as art? The fact that we've got the mix of the tiling with the more textured studs, it's just so finely judged. It's chef's kiss, absolute chef's kiss. Now, when he changed from the vertical, which was an idea that was to save space, so in his house he could have them and they'd stir up, and then when he took them to shows and displayed them, so it would be easier. But he had to change the design, so he obviously had to take off the jumper plates and then decide how he was going to finish them, and I think he did beautifully. I think what he did by extending what was already there in each of the builds, I think it works beautifully. But he had to change that because he belongs to a couple of lugs, and the Birmingham Lego store, they give over one of the cabinet displays to the local lug groups, and our very self-deprecating builder said that he was very lucky to get in with his first try as the featured build, but come on, there's no luck about it. This is so elegant and so beautifully familiar, so that people are going to be looking at that with fondness and nostalgia and connect to it. And there's a whole new generation of people who are watching these movies and are responding to them. They are going to love them too. But they're just beautiful in and of themselves, even if you're not a crazy big fan of them, which, to be honest, I'm not. I don't know that much about these movies. I've seen bits and pieces of them, but I have not seen them all. I certainly can't quote them or anything. I do remember the part where the older Dr. Jones and young Dr. Jones, it turns out they both had a thing with the ice blonde Nazi woman. I remember that. And I remember that Indiana named himself after the dog, which is why I want people, when they vote, to please put a little comment on there and just say, when you get to 5,000, maybe you could do us a little Indiana Bones build so we could have a dog archaeologist. Please, please, because puns are fantastic and dogs are so cute. And how much fun would it be having an Indiana Jones build, but with a dog? It would be great. I mean, instead of the boulder chasing him, he could chase the boulder. Sorry, that was really stupid. Okay, I think it's fair to say that I'm pretty much in love with this build, and I really hope that you will take the time to go and vote for it. Also, please go and check out his Instagram, because you're going to see some amazing stuff. Now, he does a lot of build challenges, and the way that he responds to it is so incisive, like so clever and elegant, and he does his ideas, he seems to get together very, very quickly. But as you can see with this, he has that eye for how it's going to look as a finished piece. So you see some utterly beautiful things that they're really going to surprise you, and I think you're going to become a fan. I do. I mean, money back guarantee. If you don't like him, yeah, I will return your money. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by, and I do hope that you become part of this, because he's getting to the 10,000, and wouldn't it be nice if you could be part of that? Yeah. Okay. I will see you next time. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. There was a request for me to talk about Lego mouthfeel, which is as strange as it sounds. Who knows? We'll talk about that next time. Thank you again. And I'm not really sure what's going on with the little oof. It's like the world is trying to tell me this is really important. See you soon.